Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of WN Movie Talk podcast. Robin, are you going to give us a clue what the film is?
I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, I can.
It was Clue from 1985, isn't it?
It is 1985,
Same
yes.
year as Back to the Forwards.
Gosh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Christopher Lloyd was busy that year, wasn't he?
He looks, yeah, and this is the thing, obviously, he kind of, they've aged him a bit, haven't they, for Back to the Future, with his crazy manic white hair and that, but he looked, because I thought he looked, I watching it thinking, yeah, he's quite young in this, isn't he? Which he would have been back then.
I always remember him in Taxi. Do you remember Taxi?
Yes, I do.
One of the lines in that was, I was arrested once, and they said, well, what did they get you on, drugs? He went, no, I was already on drugs. That's why they arrested me. So, for those of you who don't know, Clue is based on the famous murder mystery board game Cluedo, also known in North America as Clue, hence why the film is called Clue. It's got quite a good cast. It stars Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Colleen Camp,
Martin
Mull, Lee Ving.
Do you think that's his real name? Lee Ving.
That's his stage name. That's why he got the role, because he plays Mr. Boddy.
Yes.
And the joke is Mr. Boddy is leaving.
That is brilliant.
Mr. Boddy is leaving.
That's a great joke.
So it's based on the board game of Clue. It is a comedy, and Tim Curry plays Wadsworth, the butler.
Yes.
This big stately home, this mansion. And he has invited 6 people: Mrs. White, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd as Professor Plum, Michael McKean, Mr. Green, Leslie Ann Warren as Miss Scarlet, and Eileen Brennan as Mrs. Peacock. And we got Colleen Camp as Yvette the maid, the buxom maid. It's worth watching just for Colleen Camp as the maid, isn't it, this film?
Ah, oui.
They've all been invited to this dinner party. And they've all been given pseudonyms, and they're all trying to find out who has been blackmailing them. When they're introduced to Mr. Boddy, Lee Ving, one of them murders him, and then the mystery begins. Yeah, did you enjoy watching this, Robin? When was the last time you watched this?
Oh, a long time ago. I couldn't remember who it was that did it, and then I forgot. I forgot the fact that it has alternative endings, doesn't it? There's 3 for you to choose from.
The alternate endings were only on the video and when it was played on TV. When it was released at cinemas, they released different versions to different cinemas so that no one could ruin it for each other.
Oh.
So, yeah, depending on what cinema you went, made a difference of what ending you saw.
Fascinating. That's very cool. That's quite a nice idea.
Yeah. But it just goes to show that you could pay attention to all the clues and all the evidence and what's happening in the film.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It could have been anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the alternative ending idea. I thought it was really, really good. It does add to it, actually. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And I just, even down to the music that plays throughout this film is great. They build the suspense up at certain points. I don't know who did the music. Do you know who did the John Morris.
John Morris. He'd done a lot of work with Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So that's what I was thinking, when, especially the opening sequence, it reminded me of Young Frankenstein and Haunted Honeymoon, which were a Mel Brooks and a Gene Wilder film. So
well, there you go, yeah.
So this film was conceived by John Landis, who was going to write and direct it, and he called on the talents of Jonathan Lynn to come and help. Jonathan Lynn, he used to write for TV and direct TV, British TV as well. He's an Englishman. Amongst his TV credits, The Good Life.
Ah, Felicity Treacle-Kendall.
Yeah, and Yes Minister.
Yes, very good.
Minister.
Very good.
This was his first film, and his second film was Nuns on the Run.
So
Robbie
it didn't
Coltrane,
go well.
Eric Idle. Originally, there was a few casting choices that didn't pan out.
Right.
Originally cast to play the butler, Wadsworth, Leonard Rossiter.
I could see that, yeah. I could see that.
He died.
Oh.
Before they got to film, so that's why he couldn't be in it. Miss Scarlet was originally going to be Carrie Fisher. 2 days before filming, she went into rehab.
It would have been interesting to see her in that role. I think she'd probably have done all right, but Yeah.
Don't know.
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, Carrie Fisher. What other films was she in other than Blues Brothers?
I can remember seeing her in When Harry Met Sally. She's her friend in that, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. It's true.
I can't think what else.
There you are. That's one we can put out to the listeners. Carrie Fisher films.
Tell us.
And were they any good?
So anyway, John Landis wanted to direct, and then he decided instead to direct a film that someone mentioned last week in the comments, Spies Like Us.
Oh, okay.
With Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
Ah.
So John Landis would have done that and just kept as a producer, I think, on this. And,
yeah. He's literally just down as the writer, isn't he?
Oh, is he? Is that all he's down as? But I thought this was well written, actually. It did. There were some places where I thought the dialogue was very much like Yes, Minister. Really clever.
Yeah.
It
felt to me like this would make a really good stage production if it was like really, like the dialogue was very theatrical in a sense, wasn't it? Lots of like bouncing off each other, and it's always a good mark when there's bits in it that are just laugh out loud bits and certain characters, that just make you just guffaw. Yeah,
it's well written. Some of the gags, they're so rapid as well, aren't they? I mean, it starts off, it's very slow pace, isn't it?
Well,
it's very open. The
opening,
they're all turning up.
Yeah, but that goes, I mean, before that, they do the dog's mess joke, don't they? Where he puts the two guard dogs away, and the guard dogs don't look scary or intimidating at all. And I'm thinking, what's this? And he throws the meat down to them, and then he looks at them as if to say, "Ha, got ya, I've won." And then he treads in dog's mess, doesn't he? And then he's like, walks in, scrapes his shoe off, starts walking around, and after that everyone that turns up is sniffing and checking paranoid, checking their shoes. Is that me? And it's like, and I was thinking, oh my god, this is just like, it's going on a bit now, they're all doing it.
There's not a lot of dialogue in the opening act until they get into the study.
Yeah, it's when they're all together and the dialogue kicks off that it works. I think up until that point it did feel quite disjointed until they all got together.
Yeah, like the bodies start piling up and that through this. I love the bit where Colonel Mustard's like, they go, "Is everything all right?" And he's like, "Yep, 2 corpses, everything's fine."
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It becomes very quickly, it's normalised.
So the first character who turns up at the house is that Colonel Mustard?
It's Colonel Mustard, yeah, Colonel Mustard. And that's played by Martin Mull. And other than Tim Curry, I think Martin Mull, Colonel Mustard, was my favourite character.
Yeah.
I think some of his lines in it were brilliant. And with the chandelier, that was the bit I was like, I remember the chandelier bit when he's going, I can't stand any more scares. And then the chandelier drops behind him.
Christopher Lloyd picks up
Miss Scarlet.
And instantly Christopher Lloyd's character as Professor Plum is real lech, isn't he? He's like,
yes, yeah, uncomfortably so. I think my favourite bits is with the cook when she's dead and he gets wedged between the two dead bodies, but he can't help but rest his hand on her backside. Grim.
Wadsworth says to him, "You were once a professor of psychiatry, specialising in helping paranoid and homicidal lunatics suffering from delusions of grandeur." He says, "Yes, but now I work for the United Nations." "So your work has not changed."
Yeah, that's right. Oh, brilliant.
Another little thing with Christopher Lloyd's character. He says he works for the United Nations Organisation and the World Health Organisation, which the acronyms are You Know Who.
Oh, clever. See what you've done there.
I didn't do it. They did it. They did it, mate.
That's great. What else you got?
I don't know. So we're talking about Colleen Camp as Yvette.
Yes.
There was a lot of people went for the role of Yvette.
Okay.
Madonna was wanted to play it. It was quite a coveted role, apparently. When it was going around Hollywood, everyone wanted to play the maid.
Really?
And Colleen Camp got it because she turned up to the audition in a maid's outfit to get the job. And the director, Jonathan Lynn, he's admitted that it's because she had such large breasts that she got the role.
That's, yeah, well,
so,
you know.
At least he's honest.
That's Hollywood.
because it does sort of take the eye off of everything else when she's in there.
It does. I mean, certainly the first sort of like 10 minutes, it's like every character is just like looking down her top in like amazement. Yeah.
I quite like Mr. Green, his character.
Yes. Yeah.
Michael McKean plays him. He does a lot of comedy as well. They're all sort of comedy actors, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Spinal Tap?
Fascinating.
I love the line, actually, before when Christopher Lloyd's in the car with Miss Scarlett and you see the house, the mansion, and then the lightning strikes and you see the silhouette of the mansion and she's like, why is the car stopped? It's like, it's frightened.
It's frightened. Yeah. There were some really good one-liners in that. There's a Tim Curry one where he's talking about his wife and he said about, I wasn't blackmailed, she was. She had friends. They were socialists. And they're like, oh! It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, Colleen Camp as well. Sorry, Colleen Camp as Yvette. Do you know what she's been in? The lightning strike reminded me of the film.
No.
She plays Tackleberry's wife in Police Academy 2. Do you remember he falls in love with that traffic cop?
Yes.
That's her. Yeah, but the lightning, the sound of the thunder, reminded me of the opening credits of Police Academy as well, where the lightning keeps going off on the very first film.
Oh, Police Academy. What a film. What a classic that is, yeah. So the lady, what's she called? Mrs. White.
Yeah, Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn. So I recognise her from quite a few films, and we're about to go up again, aren't we?
She's in a lot of the Blazing Saddles.
She is, isn't she? Doesn't she normally play sort of a German or a character? Was she in The Producers? Or
she could have been. I think she does a lot with Mel Brooks and that.
Yeah.
But I recognise her from other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And apparently Jonathan Lynn doesn't like it when they stray from the script when they were making this film.
Right.
And she's one who just has to ad-lib all the time.
Yep.
And apparently there's a few of her bits are ad-libs that got left in the film.
Brilliant. I think the problem with reviewing this film and kind of trying to think back through is the speed of the dialogue and so many good jokes and one-liners and the timing of things. It's really hard. It's like when you go to watch a stand-up comedian and they just joke after joke after joke after joke after joke, and then you try and remember them. You can't remember any of them. Like I said, as soon as Tim Curry kicks into that sort of like, I'm going to tell you how this all goes down, and he starts running to and fro. Yeah, the pace is just phenomenal. Yeah, and it's just
I had that music in my head all night trying to sleep. It was like that, yeah.
Even down to little touches like they split up, don't they? They go around the house. Some go down to the cellar, some go upstairs, some go up to the attic, and the lights go off, and Wadsworth goes to turn the light on and he says, what's this? There's another door. And he turns the shower on. But the bit that made me laugh was afterwards when he's walking down the hall and you can hear him squelching. It's just a little squelch, squelch, squelch. And it's just brilliant. Just the little touches of so many things were just so well done.
It's great fun. Yeah, you can see he really embellished the role, didn't he?
I got into it, didn't he? It was brilliant.
The film, when it was released at the cinema, it actually flopped. It didn't make its money back.
Yeah, okay.
But since on TV and video, it sort of gathered this cult status. And like I said,
I was going to say, I can imagine this having a bit of a cult status to it, because it is one of those films where, I don't know, if you went to the cinema, would you have enjoyed it? I guess I would have done, I suppose.
I was probably about 8 or 9 when I first watched it, and I think it's ideal for that sort of age group.
Yeah.
But then you watch a film at that age and you watch it that much that when you're watching it in future, you know it so well. You don't know if you would enjoy it now or not if you hadn't seen it before.
No, that's it.
But I loved it, and I was watching it just thinking, oh, this is great. But I know exactly what's coming every step of the way.
I was lucky enough not to be able to remember for quite a way through this what was going to happen again. But I couldn't remember the ending. I couldn't remember the alternative endings.
No.
I couldn't remember how they tied it all together. So I was quite invested all the way through because of that. I think if I knew the endings, would I want to watch it again? Yeah,
but it doesn't matter, does it? Because you could watch, like I said, you could watch this like a murder mystery and be trying to work it all out.
Yeah.
But it's designed that it could have been all of them.
Yeah.
And it was ultimately all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's just mental. And I suppose that's based on the game as well. Every time you play the game, it's someone different, something different in a different room.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
it's a good adaptation of a board game. Brilliant.
And I love the whole, all the way through the endings is, no, communism is a red herring. The recipe as well, when they cook it, he's explaining the recipe. I knew it was your favourite meal because it was in monkey's brains.
And Mr. Green's like, that's what I mean. Mr. Green was a brilliant character. That the final ending where he's like, not the character you thought he was. It's just great because he's like, they can't blackmail me because I've done nothing wrong, and and I'll admit it. I'm homosexual, and so what? But then at the end, he's like, I'm going home to sleep with my wife.
Yes. J. Edgar Hoover turns up. It's just like,
he phones him, doesn't he?
He rings up, but then he's there at the end, isn't he? That's the guy who does the leaflets.
Is that supposed to be J. Edgar Hoover?
Yeah, that's him, isn't it? That's who he's meant to be, isn't it, at the end?
I just thought he was like one of the police.
Just one of the head police honchos. I thought he was J. Edgar Hoover. But
he actually is also in Police Academy 2. He's Eric Lassard's brother.
Oh, Lord.
He's the captain where they go to work. They go to work in a different precinct, don't they? Because his precinct's overrun with crime.
Yeah.
He's Commandant Lassard's younger brother. And he's the chief in that. He's just credited in this as the chief.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't J. Edgar Hoover. That was my mistake. I just love the way that when it gets to the end bit and they're running from room to room to room to room, like you do in the game, trying to get to work it out before anyone else does. I think it's just the brilliant.
And all the rooms are set out the same as they are in the board. With each passage leads from the room.
Yes,
that it does in the game.
Yes, exactly. The secret passages. So it's clever. It's
so really good.
It is good.
So Hendrix out of Jaws turns up as well, doesn't he? Jeffrey Kramer, the motorist.
Yeah. So he was Chief Brody's assistant.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, in Jaws.
Yeah, because I looked at him and I was thinking, I recognise him. Where's he come from? And then it did twig. Yeah.
Yeah. He's also BZ's mate in Santa Claus the movie, isn't he?
Is he?
There were some jokes that was just awful. Is there a little girl's room? Oui, oui, madame. No, I just want to powder my nose.
Yes.
And the illusionist joke. So your second husband disappeared. Well, yeah, he was an illusionist, but he didn't come back. He wasn't a very good illusionist.
Yes. That's why it felt like a bit more like it should be on stage because, sometimes when it's on stage and the jokes are fired out like that, they're meant to be bad.
Yeah.
Because you can then turn to the audience and kind of nudge, wink, wink.
You saying about Wadsworth with the shower. The other bit is Colonel Mustard. What's in this door? And he opens it and the ironing board falls out.
Yeah, I guffawed.
At the end, they got all these bodies turning up. There's that scene, isn't there, where is it the cop is killed?
Yeah, they all get killed, don't they? And then there's the
and then the doorbell rings, and then the door
telegraph girl or whatever dancing,
singing telegram, isn't there?
Singing telegram.
So let's put the body in with the others, and then they go. Is it in the study where they collected all the bodies?
Yeah.
Isn't it? And you just see the dropper.
Yeah, there's no care, is there now? It's sort of like FUD. Move on. So, just talking of the ending, did we talk about which we felt was the best ending, the one that we thought was the most appropriate ending for it?
I don't know, because there was basically, it was either Miss Scarlet, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or Miss Peacock.
Oh, I thought it was very good, Miss Peacock.
I like the big ending where it was all of them.
I
just think that was great.
Yeah, and Mr. Green turned out to be
like the FBI,
the tough guy, because he was playing all the time.
You notice none of them wear their colours, do they? Yeah,
interesting. No, they don't, do they? That would have been quite, I guess, even if it was, just an item of clothing, i.e. a tie. Mind you, I suppose, because Mustard's got a sort of brown suit on. It's not really mustardy, is it, I suppose?
I think when you see their cars, Professor Plum is in a purple car.
Yep.
Miss Scarlet has a red car.
Yep.
Do we see anyone else turn up in a car? It's Mrs. Peacock's car you see at the end, don't you? She's just going to get in her car to escape.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah. What colour was that then? Peacock?
Peacock.
What colour is a peacock?
Whatever colour that car was. But yeah, I like the ending where they're all guilty, but it was Wadsworth basically had invited them all to kill all of his his spies and informants. I thought that was a good ending.
And did they use all the weapons to kill someone in the end of it? Did they actually get through all the weapons? I mean, they did, didn't they? Because the singing telegram was a gunshot.
Yeah.
Cop was a lead pipe.
Yeah, the wrench.
The wrench was... Who's the wrench?
Was it the bloke out of Jaws?
Oh,
the motorist.
Yeah, the motorist. Yvette was the rope.
The dagger was the cook.
Yeah. What else is there then?
Candlestick.
Who died with the candlestick?
Mr.
Boddy. Yeah. So they did. They used all the weapons.
Used all the weapons.
Very
in
good.
every room, possibly, and a porch. The singing telegram got killed in the porch.
She did at the front door.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't invite that in, would you?
She's out of. You remember Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? You seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, she's Joan of Arc anyway in.
Oh right, yeah.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
Yep. I know the one you mean.
I think Mrs. White is quite a great character because she's like the femme fatale in it, isn't she? And she's like, the Black Widow. And I think it's great that she comes in dressed in black, Mrs. White. And they're like, how many husbands have you had? Mine or other women's? Yours. 5. 5?
Yeah.
She said, husbands should be like Kleenex, soft, strong and disposable.
Yes. I did write that one down. I could have said that one if
you
I'd read my
lure men
notes.
to their deaths like a spider with flies. And she says, well, flies are where men are most vulnerable.
Yes.
Like the beginning as well, where he says, I'm the butler, and what do you do?
I buttle. Yes.
I think we've probably covered enough, Robin, don't you?
Oh, I think so. I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because it was quite tricky. I found that quite tricky to talk about as a film. Although I really enjoyed it and would recommend it. Actually, it's like I said, it's one of those ones where it's like watching a comedian work, isn't it? It's too quick.
Just a good one to
keep
sort
it
of
all in your head.
Let go of everything. Let your brain go and just watch it. And
yeah, it's definitely a good one to escape into, isn't it? And just enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to think hard about it. You don't really have to. It doesn't, and that's, I guess, the good thing about the alternative endings. It means that you're not looking back and going, well, hang on a minute, it can't have been them because this, that, and the other. Because it doesn't matter because there's as many alternative endings as you like.
Yeah,
you could make up your own, couldn't you? Really, out of that.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense because I mean, like Mrs. White killed Yvette. Yet when you go in the room, when Yvette goes in the room in the dark and says, oh, they're all here, I've got them all to do whatever. And it's clearly a man's voice in there.
Yes.
Talking to her.
Well, what does that say about Mrs. White?
Mrs. White,
exactly.
So it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense, is it? I don't think. There's talks of a remake of this.
Is there?
Ryan Reynolds is involved in a remake at the moment, I think.
Okay, so would he be the butler, do you think? Because, I mean...
Possibly, yeah.
Well, I mean, it would work for him. He'd be the sort of actor that could drop into this because of the quick lines and the fast... Him and Rebel Wilson. Well, let's put that out for the listeners. Who would they like to see in a remake of this film?
Yeah.
Who would you have? Yeah.